Hello there, my stamping friends. It's Jackie Bolhuis from Klompen Stampers. Today, I am featuring the Flowering Tulips stamp set along with a easy fun fold. I'm not really sure what to call this fun fold. Maybe a double flap fun fold or a surprise fun fold. You can call it whatever you want. I don't get all hung up in names that people think fun folds are, but it's an easy fun fold. It just kind of has a lot of parts and pieces, and it will work perfect with any stamps and papers that you have. You know, that's the thing I've been really trying to concentrate a lot on my videos today is I show you one set like the Flowering Tulips, which it's one of my favorites, but I want you to always look beyond the stamps I'm using because you might have some stamps already that will work perfectly for this. Or maybe you love what I'm using, which I think you will because these stamps are like so awesome. You can always purchase them. Now, just before I flip the camera down here, I want to remind you, I have a corresponding blog post. The link will be down in the video description. It should be right below, wherever your description of your videos is. Take you over there, and there you will find pictures of my card, as well as all of the measurements. So if you want to make this card, I try to make it as easy as I can between watch the video and then go grab all the measurements from over there. And then while you're over there, if you'd like a Stampin' Up! Catalog, click on Catalogs and you can request a catalog. Or if you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order, you can click on Shop Now or the button where I list the supplies and purchase your Stampin' Up! Products. And thank you so much to those of you that allow me to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and place your orders through me. It's because of you that I can come to you a couple of times a week usually, sharing quick and easy cards with you. Alrighty, are you ready for our fun fold? We're gonna flip this camera down and we're gonna get stamping. Hold on one second. Here's a peek at the Flowering Tulips stamp set that we're using. I've been using this one a lot. It's not only got great words, I use these on the windmill cards as well, but the 3 different size tulips are fantastic. And it's a 2-step tulip, so you really get a lot of dimension in it. Now, before we kind of dive into our card, I want to show you this. And I will have a picture of this over on that blog post as well. But this shows the different pieces that will make the 3 different size tulips and how you put them together. So we got the big, the medium, and the small. Now you can use 2 different color stamp pads, but I tend to use one, and I'll do full strength and then half strength, which simply means I take my stamp, I ink it up, and I stamp it on scrap paper, which you'll see me do here. But this will show you, when you look at your stamps here, which ones go with what to make the completed tulip. Okay. Like I said, we have quite a few parts and pieces to our card here, and I think what I'm going to do is do all the stamping first. Then I can get these inks and stamps out of the way and I won't mess everything up, and then we'll work on our fun fold card. So I have pre-cut 3 different pieces of basic white using the stitch rectangle dies. So we're going to, let's see, we're going to go ahead and start with our middle one first. And this is where we're going to stamp mostly our main image here of our tulips. Now for this one, we're just going to use the medium size on this. So I'm going to start by taking what I call the bolder piece of our medium sized tulip. And we're going to stamp that one, let's go about right there. And then we'll take the piece that is, the fill-in piece, scrap paper first, and then stamp it right on top. So there's the first one. And then let's do the smaller tulip. Now I'm using polished pink here. And I think my ink pad really needs to be re-inked a little bit. These colors are a little light. Probably do that when I'm done here. And there we go, the second piece to that one. So there's the tulip. And then our stem, what's nice about the stem is it does have a little curve to it. And we can go this way or we can go this way. So we can have these tulips kind of, going off that direction, and then we'll flip it. And so this one's kind of blowing in the wind off to the right a little bit. Now we also have 2 different leaves. Now these are not, you can double stamp them or 2-step them, but I don't think that's the intent. Oops, we got some ink on there. We'll cover that up with a leaf. But you can see this one kind of curves that way, but what's fun is I can go that direction, or if I flip it, I can have it curve that way, because that's kind of the way, tulips, they're high and then those stems go out. So let's see if we can cover up our goof. Ooh, I think we can. We position the, look at that, all fixed. So you can see how it curves that way. Now I'm going to turn it, and I'm just kind of running the straighter edge along the stem to get it to curve out that way. And then the smaller one, we can go ahead and we can stick this one in here. And again, run that, edge of it along the stem to make it look more like our tulips. So there we go. There is the first piece. So let's set that one aside. And now we have a smaller rectangle. And for this one, we're going to use some black. And I have one of the greetings. We're going to use 2 different greetings out of this stamp set and put them all together. I think this one will just fit on here. So let's see if we can get it somewhat straight without my head in the way. So we'll stamp that. Let today be the start of something new. And then let's do a small tulip. I have so many pieces here. Let's put that one. We'll kind of overlap our words just a little bit. Oops. See, now I'm confusing myself. We'll make sure we get the right ones here. So let's put that one inside and then grab our stem. We'll put our stem and a couple of leaves. So with this one, we're going to kind of come off our paper. So our tulip looks like it's coming off, and then we'll go up a little bit higher. There we go. There is our second piece. And then here's our larger one. And for this, we're going to stamp some more tulips. So by the end of this, you're going to really know how to stamp these tulips, right? So we're going to go right there. I don't think it really totally matters, but this is actually the inside of the card. So I want to keep these kind of down towards the bottom so we have room to write a little message. If you don't want to write a lot, then just fill it up more with the tulips. So, okay, we are almost done with our stamping. And then we can get to what you're waiting for, the fun fold part of our card. So let's get a couple leaves. Do that one. Let's bring one up here. Put one more in the center there. There we go. Okay, we have 3 different stitched rectangles. Let me take a second here and clean up this so we don't get any more ink on our hands and on our cards, and then we'll be back to make our fun fold. Okay, there's one other stitched rectangle, and I already embossed this. I like to use white powder on black. I love the little pop, especially when you put it with those bright colors, but that's all done. So we're gonna set that with our rectangle pile. Then we have a piece of designer series paper that is 3.5, I believe. Yep, 3.5 by 3.5. Again, all these measurements are over on the website. And we're going to cut the square in half. So I'm just gonna line up in the cutting groove there. So that gives us 2 triangles. Now we need to do a little scoring on these. And I'm gonna use the right side of this, and we're gonna come out to this 1/2 inch. We wanna score it at a 1/2 inch. So I'm gonna line up right along there because we can't really make it, square at the top like usual. So I have to use that line. And then I'm gonna hold it and, oops, let's make sure, you gotta make sure this cutting blade is way at the top because we just want to score it, okay? And we're gonna do that one. We're gonna do the same one here. Line that up here over at that 1/2 inch line and score it. Okay, now we can put this cutter out of the way. Now I want some really crisp folds in here, so I like to use my bone folder. Get that nice and crisp, and then this one the same thing. Let's get that one nice and crisp. And then I'm gonna take my paper snips, and we can just hand cut this. We're gonna cut off these little tails here. This reminds me of quilting. If there's any quilters out there, like when you sew, you end up with these little pieces that you trim off after you've made your squares. So there we go. Okay, so we have that. We're ready to put this together. So we have a card base here. Now you probably can't tell on the video, but it is a little bit smaller. Normally we take a 1/2 sheet of cardstock. This one is actually 8 inches by 5 1/4 instead of 5 1/2 and 8 1/2. So when I fold it, it's 4 by 5 1/4. And you'll see why here in just a moment. Then we are going to take our little triangles that we made and we're going to stick them up along the edges. So it's going to kind of tuck down in there, and we are going to adhere it all the way to the back, but I only want adhesive on this little 1/2 inch flap here because otherwise it'll glue our card closed. And then I found the easiest way to do this is take your card, it's folded, and we're gonna stick it up to that fold line and get it up there as tight as we can. We can even slide it down and then rub it on there. Now, I like using the liquid adhesive for this because it does give me that little bit of wiggle room to slide it around, but you can see now how it's on the back of the card. And then we are going to do the exact same thing here with this piece and put this one on the bottom. So we'll stick it on there, slide it up there, close it, and then if you need to, you can kind of slide it around, get it in there as tight as you can, and press it down. So now our card essentially opens like this. Now the reason I made it a little bit smaller is I don't like the look of the back of it with those pieces there. So I have a quarter sheet. So this is 5.5 by 4.25. And we're going to put some adhesive all on the back side of this card here. Get it out to those edges. And we are going to stick that on here because now it hides the back side of that designer series paper, so we don't see where we folded it over. So now our card still opens the same, but we have that nice little polished pink border around our whole card. So that's kind of the main part of our card. And now we can put it together. We're going to use our first one that we stamped for on the front. Now, here's the trick. You got to be really careful because I only want to adhere it up here where this triangle, so the triangle will stick to it so it can open that way. So I'm going to use this adhesive and just put it down here on the bottom. If you go too far up, then we kind of have a mess. We'll have adhesive there, but you want to make sure you put it on the triangle and not the back of the card, because otherwise you risk, your card not opening. See how that is on there like so? And then you can kind of, again, liquid adhesive, so I can slide that a little bit because I want it as straight as I can on the front of our card. And then, remember our little piece that I said I did ahead of time? This is our greeting. We're going to put a couple of dimensionals on the back of that one and stick this across. And again, those dimensionals are in from the edge because I don't want them to go over our white piece here. And we're going to put that right there. So there is the front of our card. Now remember, like I said at the beginning, the whole purpose of this video is more for the fold part of it. So if you have other stamps that you like, just stamp this with whatever you want. Okay, you create the card however you want. Now, because this is going to open like so and so, we need to have a fun little surprise in the inside before we open it the second time. So that's what this piece was for. And I made this one quite a bit smaller just to make sure it was completely hidden. If I kind of center it the best I can, you'll see it's hidden in there. So when my recipient opens this, they're going to go like that and go, oh, look at how pretty that is. And now we're going to open it one step further. And this stitch, whoop, now we're going to adhesive all over the place. I'm just a mess here today. We can stick that one in the inside. And that's it. So now our card will open and close just like that. So we use the Flowering Tulips. We could actually make this fancier. We could die cut and add some ribbon and embellishments, but I wanted to keep the stamping simple because I'm all about quick and easy cards. And even though it's a fun fold with several pieces, I hope you saw how easy this was to make. I hope you try this idea with either these stamps or other stamps you have. Now remember, all these measurements along with a picture are over on my website. The link's down in the video description to take you over there so that you can make one of these fun fold cards yourself. Now, before I let you go, I want to show you some other cards using the Flowering Tulips stamp set. Now, I'm not going to make these, but I know you can easily make them. I'm using the note cards and envelopes and just a couple layers of cardstock, but you can see how I mixed and matched the different greetings and the different sized of tulips. So just some quick and easy note cards. Now, these, as well as the other ones I'm going to share with you, are part of a tutorial that I do have available. So if you have this stamp set or love the stamp set and want lots of quick and easy card ideas with it, make sure you check out my tutorial. Again, it's over on the website. So there's those. And then these are kind of my favorite ones I've made with the stamp set so far. I kept the colors very basic with the gray, black, and white. And then the Poppy Parade for my red. I think it's Poppy Parade. But again, you can see I have several different layouts. all using the exact same products, just cutting my pieces differently. Now the 4 of these are part of that tutorial as well. So if you want all those measurements, and again, this is a great layout idea that you can use with any stamps, ink, and paper. So make sure you check out that tutorial that I have available on the website. And I hope you enjoy stamping tulips as much as I do. So I'll be back stamping again with you real soon. Have a stamp happy day.